welcome to Tennessee's At Home Learning series for math. Today's lesson is for all our second graders out there, though all children are welcome to tune in. This lesson is the 16th in our series. Welcome. My name is Miss Spain, and I'm a second grade teacher in Tennessee schools. I'm so excited to be your teacher for this lesson. Welcome to my virtual classroom. If you didn't see our previous lesson, you can find it on the Tennessee Department of Education's website at www.tn.gov/education. You can still tune in to today's lesson if you haven't seen any of our others, but it might be more fun if you first go back and watch our other lessons since we'll be talking about things we've learned previously. Today, we will be learning about adding 3-digit numbers in mathematics. Now, before we get started, to participate fully in our lesson today, you will need a couple sheets of paper, a pencil, and a surface to write on. Okay, let's begin. Today, boys and girls, we are going to practice adding numbers by drawing models. Remember that we've drawn lots of models together. We will be using place value mats and base 10 blocks to help some friends figure out their math problems. Let's look at our first problem. I want you to read Manuel's problem on your own, and then we will read it together. Manuel read 45 pages in a book. Then he read 31 more pages. How many pages did Manuel read? So in week 1, we solved problems by drawing models. Let's use that strategy now. Please draw a place value mat. You will need a large rectangle with a line drawn down the middle, just like the one I have here. And it needs to be divided into 2 spaces. You'll label the left as 1s and then the right column as 10s. Go ahead and do that now. Now, boys and girls, we will model the pages that Manuel read. How many did he read first? Excellent. Manuel read 45 pages first. You went back to the text. Now, I would like for you to draw a model while I show it to you with base 10 blocks, and then I'll draw a model like yours. So first, he read 45 pages. So I am going to go ahead and start showing you my model. And you are going to be drawing it on your paper. Now, boys and girls, do you have 4 10s and 5 1s? Wonderful. Now it says that he read 31 more pages. Hold up your model when you're finished adding the 31. I'm going to do that now. Now hold up your model so we can compare. You are working so hard. Great job adding 31 more pages. If we're trying to figure out the total number of pages, we will need to combine or add these together. So, how many 10s do we have now? Right, we have 7 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. How many 1s are in our model? Great counting. There are 6 1s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, boys and girls, we have 7 10s plus 6 1s. So we have 70 plus 6. Underneath your placemat, please write an equation that matches our situation. So we can write 45 plus 31 equals, very good, boys and girls, 76. Manuel has read a total of 76 pages. So we used tens, and ones for our models. Remember that a 10 rod right here is made up of how many ones? 10. Excellent. We can trade 1 10 for 10 ones because they are equal. Using 10 rods helps us to count quicker. Let's go ahead and line it up so you can see the comparison. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to go ahead and get 4 more ones. See, 1 10 rod is the same as 10 ones. So do you think it's easier to add by tens or by ones? Oh, absolutely. I think that if we can add by tens, that is easier. Just like we can trade in 10 ones here to make a 10, we can also trade in 10 tens. Watch as I model this trade. Let's count our 10 rods. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Excellent job, boys and girls. We can put 10 tens together. We have built the number 100. And this 100 is a flat made up of 100 ones. It's also made up of 10 tens. I can put it right over the top and it would fit perfectly. So for this lesson and in future lessons, we will be using ones, we will be using tens, and we will be using a flat, a hundreds flat to build numbers. Are you ready to get started? Awesome. So today we're going to be using several place value mats. To save time, we're going to go ahead and draw all of our mats at once. So go ahead and grab your paper and pencil, and I want you to follow along with me. So first what we're going to do is we are going to draw a large rectangle. This time we will need to draw lines to divide the rectangle into 3 spaces. Watch me and then you can quickly sketch yours. And remember, boys and girls, it does not have to be perfect. Just do your best. We created 3 columns, and we will label those columns hundreds, tens, and ones. You're welcome to label yours with those words, or you can use an H for hundreds, a T for tens, and an O for ones. Now, I want you to go ahead and please draw 4 more mats, and I'll be getting mine together too. We're going to be using these mats to help our friends solve some math problems. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you're ready with your mats. I'm ready with mine. Now, let's look at one of our place value mats to help Ezra figure out the total number of turtle eggs that she and her grandmother counted. So here is our first problem. Ezra is helping her grandmother count eggs in sea turtle nests dug into the beach. On Saturday, they counted 234 eggs, that is sea turtle eggs. On Sunday, they counted 141 more eggs. How many eggs did Ezra and her grandmother count over the weekend? Okay, boys and girls, so let's go back to the text and make sure that we are making sense of our problem. So Ezra and her grandmother are counting eggs in sea turtle nest, and they counted 234 sea turtle eggs. And then on Sunday, they counted 141 more eggs. And it says, how many did they count all together over the weekend? So we know that we are going to be adding. Now, I'm going to draw 2 flats. and 3 10s and 4 1s. Would you like to add that to your mat? And why did I add 2 hundreds, 3 10s, and 4 1s to my mat? Yes, very good, because they first counted 234 sea turtle eggs. Now, let's go back to the text. Ezra and her grandmother count 141 more eggs. So, what do we need to do now? To show 141, I'm going to draw one more 100 flat, 4 10s, and 1 1. Please add this to your mat as well. And then I want you to hold it up so we can compare. Wonderful job, boys and girls. To find the total, I'm going to combine the 100, 10s, and 1s. So let's look carefully at our mat. I have a total here, as we can see, as 300s. I have 1, 2, 3. Then, in my tens place, I have a total of 7 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in my ones place, I have a total of 5 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and label. 300s, very good, plus 7 10s, plus 5 1s. Wonderful job, boys and girls. Now, is there another way that you can think we can write this? Very good. You can write it in complete number form. So we can say 300 plus 70 plus 5. Awesome job. So we have a total of 375 turtle eggs. We can also count by 100s and 10s to find our value. Count with me. 100, 200, 300, 310, 320, 330, 340, 350, 360, 370, 371, 372, 373, 374, 375. So we know that Ezra and her grandmother counted 375 eggs over the weekend. I can also write an equation to match our situation. So remember, we first did 234. So I'm going to write 234. And then we added 141. And our total is 375. Very good, boys and girls. So we counted 234 eggs on Saturday. Here they are. And then we counted 141 eggs on Sunday. And we got our total of 375. Wonderful job, boys and girls. Please write your equation under your mat. You are working so hard. Great job. Now, let's take a look at our next problem. We just helped Ezra figure out how many total turtle eggs with our model. Now we're going to help Sarah figure out how many strawberry plants she helped water on her family's farm. So go ahead and get another place value mat while I get one. So I want you to read this problem with me. Sarah helps out with her family's strawberry farm. She watered 125 plants this morning and then watered 330 more after lunch. How many plants did Sarah water? Okay, so boys and girls, we need to make sure that we make sense of the problem. Let's go back and look. So Sarah helps out her family with the strawberry farm. She watered 125 plants this morning. So let's underline that. and then watered 330 more after lunch. And the problem we're trying to solve is, how many plants did Sarah water? So this tells us that we are going to be adding. Very good. So how many plants did Sarah water first? Good reading. She watered 125 strawberry plants first. So let's model that. I am going to be drawing 100 flat, and then I am going to be adding 2 10s and then 5 1s. Now, can you draw that on your paper? Great job. Let's go back to the text to find out how many more she watered after lunch. Oh, she watered 330 more after lunch. So please add 330 to your mat. I'm going to add 300 flats to here. And then I'm going to add how many? Very good. 3 10 rods. And then do I have any ones? No. So I want you to go ahead and hold up your mat and let's compare them. Great job, boys and girls. How are we going to figure out the total number of plants watered? Great idea. We can combine all the hundreds, tens, and ones. I have 4 hundreds, I have 5 tens, and 5 ones. So I have 400 plus 50 plus 5. Excellent job, boys and girls. And that equals 455. We can also figure out our total by skip counting. Count with me. 100, 200, 300, 400, 410, 420, 430, 440, 450, 451, 452, 453, 454, 455. So we still got the same even though we skipped counted, or we could write an equation. Now I want you to write the equation to match our situation. So first up here, how many did we have? Very good, 125. And then down here, how many did we have? Excellent, 330. And we know that equals 455. Give yourselves a round of applause. So now we know that in one day, Sarah watered a total of 455 plants. Make sure that you've written your equation on your place value mat. You are working so hard. So Sarah has been watering plants and Connor has been collecting seashells. So go ahead and get out your other place value mat while I get my problem and place value mat. You're going to read this problem on your own, and then we are going to look at it together. So go ahead and read it on your own. Okay, let's read it together. Connor's family has been collecting seashells this week. In the small bucket, they have 251 shells. The larger bucket holds 307 shells. How many shells are there in all? Okay, boys and girls, what is the first thing we need to do? Right, we need to make sense of the problem. So, let's go back to the text. It says that they've been collecting seashells this week. In the small bucket, they've collected 251 shells. The larger bucket holds 307 shells. And so we are trying to figure out how many shells are there in all. And we know when it says in all that we are going to be adding. Now, let's see, what do you think we need to go ahead and do first? Great idea. We can go ahead and build models of the seashell numbers. How many were in the small bucket? Excellent. Great reading. There were 251 in the small bucket. That's what the text tells us. So how many were in the large bucket? Right again, the large bucket holds 307 shells. Let's build both of those numbers on our place value mat. You build 251 and 307 on your own. I'll build the same numbers and then we will compare models. So I can look back to the text and I see I have 251. And then the larger bucket holds 307. I don't have anything in my tens, so I'm just going to add 7 ones. Excellent job. Now, let's combine all of our numbers. Why would we do that? Right, because we're trying to figure out how many shells in all. So let's combine the hundreds. We have 5 hundreds. We have 5 tens. And we have how many ones? Very good, 8 ones. Now we can also write this in an expanded form. 500 plus 50 plus 8. Excellent job. Now, what is our total by looking at our numbers? Very good, 558. We can also count the total by skip counting our model. Let's do that together. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 510, 520, 530, 540, 550, 551, 552, 553, 554, 555, 556, 557, 558. Whew, that was a lot of counting. Go ahead and jump up and down 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome job. Let's go ahead and write our equation at the bottom of our mat. And then why don't you go ahead and write yours and I'll write mine and then we'll compare. Does your equation look like mine? Very good, boys and girls. 251 plus 307 equals 558. You could also write it 307 plus 251 equals 558. It doesn't matter how you place the two add-ins in this problem. The sum will always be the same. Great job. Let's practice another problem together. So go ahead and get out another place value mat, and I'm going to show you the problem, and then you're going to go ahead and read it on your own. So here's the problem. Go ahead and read the problem about the poems in Carrie's book. Now, let's read it together. There are 125 poems in Carrie's book and 145 poems in Angie's book. How many poems are in these two books? So what's the first thing we need to do? Excellent. We need to make sense of our problem. So let's go back to the text. Now, there are 125 poems in Carrie's book. Going to underline that here. And there are 143 poems in Angie's book. And we're trying to find how many there are in both books. So we know that we are going to be adding. So go ahead and draw your model of the poems in Carrie's book and in Angie's. And then we will compare. So I'm looking back to the text and I see 125 poems. So I will draw 1 hundreds flat, 2 tens, and 5 ones. So now I've represented 125 poems. Now I'm going to go back and see how many more we're adding. 143. So I will add another 100 flat, 4 tens, and 3 ones. Now, boys and girls, hold up your model. Does yours look like mine? Excellent. So what are we going to do to find the total? Very good. We're going to combine the flats, the rods, and the ones. So go ahead and hold up your fingers. How many hundreds do we have? Excellent. We have 2 hundreds. How many tens do we have? Way to go. We have 6 tens. And how many ones do we have? Awesome job, boys and girls. We have 8 ones. So we have 200 plus 60 plus 8. Now, what do you think our total will be by looking at this model? Excellent, 268. Let's count to make sure. 100, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 261, 262, 263, 264, 265, 266, 267, 268. Great job, boys and girls. So we've answered the question and we have 268 poems in both books. Now go ahead and write the equation below your model. I'm going to write 125 because that's how many was in Carrie's book. I'm going to write 143 because that's how many that were in Angie's. And we have a total of 268. Awesome job. Give yourself a round of applause. You all have done a fantastic job today. Now, I think that it's time you can do some practice on your own. Great work, math friends. Today, we solved 3-digit problems using drawings of base 10 blocks. You sure did a great job. After the video, you will have some problems to practice on your own. And I will show you the independent practice problems now. This is what it will look like. You can find them in the student practice for this lesson posted on our website, www.tn.gov/education. Good luck and do your best. Thank you so much for having me, friends. I enjoyed reviewing using base 10 models with you to solve adding problems with 3 digits. Thank you for inviting me into your home. I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson in Tennessee's At Home Learning series. Bye.